your thoughts not about yourself, your pains, your worries, your rent, your health. Because every time there's something to look forward to, it's escapism. For that moment, I love football.
I certainly grew up with that stigma: sort yourself out, pull your socks up, man up, you can't cry. Football is a place for the lads to go.
I'm Sam McShane, and I'm on a journey to understand how much of an escapism football can be for men struggling with their mental health. Despite being home to Arsenal Football Club, Islington has the highest level of depression in London, with around 18,000 people in the borough diagnosed with depression and related disorders. I've come to speak with Tony Sheen, a lifelong Arsenal fan and Islington local, who has struggled with his own mental health since he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at just 8 years old.
I was in my 6th or 7th week in hospital all through the summer of 78, and you're just stuck in a children's ward. And my mum used to visit, and she said, you've got to get you out, and I know the football season's starting, we're going to sneak you back to the Arsenal to get to watch the game. And so I always remember as an 8-year-old getting to watch the Arsenal as a bit of escapism from health and hospital. With the type 1 diabetes, there's so many comorbidities. Like at the moment, I'm now at like an end stage renal failure, waiting for a double organ transplant, which will hopefully extend my life.
Whilst it can be easy to assume that the men in our lives are okay, they could be suffering in silence, going day by day hiding their real feelings.
I get through things by making jokes, trying to be humorous, but you're not always happy. People don't realise how you're feeling. They don't live your life, what's going on. I've definitely had suicidal thoughts in my life. I've been in very dark places in my life, and my health has turned in bad ways in my life. But I'm still here, and I'm still excited about the Arsenal. If Arsenal finished tomorrow and there was no more football, then life, tongue-in-cheek, wouldn't be worth living.
Here, just around the corner from the stadium, is the Canal, a place for fans to perhaps quietly reflect on life away from the football.
Tony's story really resonated with me on a personal and emotional level. In July 2022, I myself was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. For so long, Arsenal was an outlet and a genuine escapism for me. But away from the football, the same problems persisted. I felt as if every day I was carrying this weight that I didn't know how to put into words. I didn't know how to talk to anyone. Each day was like covering up the cracks. It was pure chaos, anxiety, anger, and loneliness. I wanted to ask for help, but I was so ashamed. I didn't know who to talk to or if anyone would even understand what I was going through. But when I did, it was the best decision I ever made. I started therapy and speaking to people and realised I wasn't the only person going through these things. However, the stigma around men talking between themselves and to professionals is still very much there.
To understand the stigma, I spoke with Stuart Fawcett, a member of the men's suicide prevention charity Andy's Man Club.
I certainly grew up with that stigma: sort yourself out, pull your socks up, man up, you can't cry. Football is a place for the lads to go and be laddish around each other. I think it can be challenging to feel like you can open up to someone on those days. However, it's quite surprising that when you do start to talk about that stuff, that how many people would listen to you. It's really hard for guys to open up and talk. Sometimes all we feel it is through, burden, embarrassment, weakness.
A recent survey on why men don't talk about their mental health found that 36% of men didn't wish to be a burden, with 20% saying that there is a negative stigma and 16% not wanting to appear weak.
It's important to be able to know that we're not burdening anybody. We're not showing that weakness. I think, certainly in my past, I would put that mask on because I felt that that's the way that I needed to I couldn't show those emotions, I couldn't show that vulnerability. Since being able to open up and show that vulnerability, it enables me to sort of like work through life, if you like. It's about starting that conversation, and that doesn't matter. You find your person. It doesn't have to be Andy's Man Club on a Monday. It's about starting that conversation, feeling comfortable talking to someone.
When it came to finding my person, it was Dan Potts, creator of Football's 12th Man podcast. Dan started the podcast during the COVID-19 pandemic as a way to communicate with his fellow football fans and to discuss topics he is passionate about.
Listen up, people. Those who know me well will be aware of my passion around the importance of mental health.
Through following Dan's podcast, I learned that it was okay to speak about my own mental health, and I've been lucky enough to speak to him about the impact his content has had on people's lives.
The amount of people that I've spoken to that were cheering at the football, jumping for joy when we won, that the next day are back to being depressed because their life at the moment is so stressful. I think football's a huge coping mechanism for that. And I'm amazed at the amount of people that I know online that live in completely different countries now because of football, that are watching my content or that are commenting on my stuff or that are messaging me saying, you know, cheers for getting me through dark times, watching your content's been great. I've had people say, you've literally saved my life. I was in such a dark place and you've got me through some real bad times. That's outstanding. That's unbelievable. I never expected that would happen.
If more online platforms like Dan's can push back against the stigma to their huge audiences, then maybe societal attitudes towards men speaking about their mental health at the football might just change.